listening to 98.3 FM, WRLR LP, Round Lake Heights, Illinois.
Welcome to the Dave Mierswa Show, the cutting-edge talk show about legal, political, and current issues. Practicing in both Wisconsin and Illinois, David Mierswa is a leading trial attorney bringing nearly 2 decades of business law, family law, personal injury, and estate planning experience to you. The Dave Mierswa Show, about the people, for the people, and bringing justice to the people. The Dave Mierswa Show, its guests, agents, and WRLR are not rendering any legal advice. All listeners are encouraged to seek legal advice from properly licensed and qualified professionals.
Oh, welcome to the Dave Mierswa Show. I'm your host, Dave Mierswa. I hope everyone is having a great weekend and a great holiday. I got a really great show in store for you. This is kind of a recovery show from all the politics and all of the shopping I'm sure everyone's doing. And I'm kind of going to do this show so people kind of remember what the holidays is all about. And so I'm real pleased to bring you my show. I'm, again, your host, Dave Mierswa. Co-host Peggy Buccini is down in Florida. She abandoned me on this cold weather Sunday. I guess it's supposed to get sunny a little later today, so we're all kind of hoping for that. But she is off today. So big shout out to her, and hopefully she'll have fun down in Florida. So let me get my PSAs out of the way. Those are my public service announcements. Then I will get right into the show. So on, looks like Thursday, December 1st, from 4 p.m. until 8 p.m., we have an annual holiday craft fair. And this is a spaghetti supper with Santa and reindeer. Santa and his live reindeer will be at Round Lake Area Chamber of Commerce annual spaghetti supper located at Round Lake Beach Culture and Civic Center, 2007 Civic Center Way, Round Lake Beach. Photos with Santa and reindeer, kids' crafts and raffles will be there, and much more. Tickets are available at the event 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. or you can stop into the Chamber of Commerce located at Round Lake Beach Culture and Civic Center, Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. And again, the supper with Santa and reindeer is going to be this Thursday, December 1st, 4 p.m. until 8 p.m. Annual holiday craft fair. So that's pretty cool. Also, every week I always give shout outs, and I have a new news update that I'm going to give every week now that has been incorporated into my show. And also, I want to give a shout out to Reach Rescue. Through the holidays, if you are looking for animals, I beg you, do not shop for an animal. Please stop into a local shelter. Reach Rescue is a non-for-profit, non-kill animal shelter located in Mundelein, Illinois. Right next door to the adoption center is a resale shop. So if you are looking at donating some stuff this year, you can drop it off there and get a tax deduction. And once again, I always beg you, please, if you're looking for an animal, do not go to a breeder. Go to an animal shelter. My next shout out is to Save a Pet, located at 31664 North Fairfield Road in Grays Lake. Also, they are a non-kill animal shelter. I have donated a lot of money, time, and effort to both of these places. And whenever I can, if you are out and about today, why don't you stop into one of these shelters and show that, you know, a family's just not a brother or sister or son or daughter. It's also our animals. And if you're like me, my animals are my children. So that is a big shout out to Reach Rescue, Save a Pet for all the great stuff that they do. And I also want to start off here now. Let me cue up my first audio clip. Hold on here. All right, I got a new segment on the show. As you can hear, this is a cat purring. Let me try to turn it down just a little here. Hold on. Okay. every week from now on, I'm going to give a Sprat update for you listeners just tuning in. About 3 months ago, I went to an animal shelter, and this past year, I had 3 cats that passed away. So it was kind of a rough year in the kitty department with the kids and with the cats. And 3 months ago, we stopped over at a local pet shelter, and we got a new cat. And her name, my wife named her Scrat after Ice Age, that little thing that goes after the little squirrel-type creature that goes after the nut. Well, Scrat sounded too much like a rat, so we renamed her Sprat. And the update with Sprat is that my wife went over to a local store, and Sprat loves to chase after things, and she'll run after everything. So my wife went out, she got 36 ping pong balls, and we started throwing these ping pong balls all around, and our house now looks like a ping pong match fight that went awry. There are ping pong balls everywhere, and she goes after them, and that was so awesome of my wife to do that. Also, we have a cleaner that comes about once every 2 weeks to help kind of maintain the complete chaotic mess of our lives, and she gets everything all cleaned up in the house, the rugs, everything, and then Sprat likes to do this thing called carpet surfing, and we got about 10 little rugs throughout the house, and it's not even an hour later, and all of the rugs are all messed up, and I've come back from court, and Sprat has turned what was a clean house formerly before I got there into a complete mess. So, but that is my story for Sprat. And Sprat. So this is going to be a new segment on every week. I will give you Sprat updates. And again, for you listeners, Sprat was a rescue cat, and she was very underweight. And now she almost doubled her size. And I can't tell you how happy she is. And I can't tell you how much joy she brings to the house. So there's my update on Sprat. And every week I will update you on her antics every week. All right, so this topic, let me get into it. Also, all of my shows are uploaded to YouTube. And you can just Google my name. Dave Mierswa, Mierswa in YouTube, and all my shows are put there. Also, all of my shows are uploaded to law540.com, law540.com, and then you just got to click under the radio icon. So all my shows are there. And I was searching this week to see what kind of topic I wanted to talk about, and then throughout the week, I kind of reflected. This week I started really reflecting on a lot of things that have happened in my life and so forth, and I found it completely appropriate. I just didn't want to talk about the holiday. I wanted to really talk about the essence of what is important about the holiday. So this show today is going to be about being grateful and being thankful for the things that are in your life. And so many people tend to concentrate on all the things that they don't have. And it's like walking into a super Walmart, and you want to have everything in Walmart, or you want to have 2 of them or 3 of them. And let me tell you, most houses could not handle all of the stuff that is put in Walmart. And at some point in your life, you got to start to learn to be grateful and thankful for all the things that you have in your life. Not the things that you don't have, but all the things that you do have. And about 7-8 years ago, I started on a huge journey myself. And my journey 7-8 years ago, when the real estate market collapsed, and I was heavily invested into the real estate market. And I'm not talking just a few tens of thousands. I'm talking a lot of money. A lot of money. And when that market collapsed, so did a lot of things at that point in my life 8 years ago. As the market collapsed and as I watched my equity and a lot of things disappear, I thought my life was going to be over. I mean, I was going through a mental crisis of unknown proportions. But I'm telling you, you hang in there. And I've put in all the hours, and I built up a pretty good real estate. And at that time, and no one suspected that the crash would be as big as it did. Well, let me tell you, at that point, 8 years ago, back in 2007, 2008, you start to realize there's a lot of things that are of clarity when you go through crisis. And one of them is you find out who your friends are. You find out who good family is. I'm not just talking family, I'm talking good family. You find out who your good friends are. And after spending, I don't know how many hours building all this stuff up, and literally overnight it vanished. And everyone was scrambling. And at that point, you have to make a decision in life. How are you going to handle this? Are you going to allow the crisis to rule you for the rest of your life? Or are you going to take it as a challenge and allow yourself to learn from that? And I started realizing all of my priorities were kind of in a mixed up wrong order. And it's not that people do wrong, it's not that people do right, but what you focus on is really how your life manifests itself. And I was focusing on just making money, one deal after another deal after another deal. And then facing that, lost it all, and if not most of it. And so that's a pretty heavy hit. But out of that, out of the phoenix, out of the ashes that rose, was that I realized 8 years ago, and it took a while. It just didn't happen overnight, that I started on a new journey. And the new journey was that all the stuff that I thought defined my life and made life important and made me happy was just not the case. It was a false feeling and a red herring. And all the people that I thought were my friends were not friends. They all disappeared. And out of the phoenix and the ashes rose a phoenix, that I have a new set of friends. I have some old friends that I got in touch with, and I rebuilt my life. And then you also realize what's important. Yep, money's important. Having a life is important. But beyond that, so what I'm thankful for today is my wife, my life, my cats, and most of my family. And I can't tell you how important that stuff is. And over the weekend, I watched some YouTube videos, and all these people, running into Walmart, tripping over each other, and just to get more physical goods. And about 6 years ago, 6.5, 7 years ago, about a year into my transformation after losing about 98% of all the equity that I built up for 6, 7, 8 years after that was gone. And what was very clear after that is what you focus on is what you get. And my relationship with all new friends has gotten a lot better, and my pursuing of physical goods and stuff like that is done. I don't care about the physical goods. I don't. And I walk in the Walmart, and once a year I always get some staples that we need. But I got to tell you, my wife was out the other day, and I had this baseball hat. And I'm going to tell you some of these little stories, and then I got some really awesome audio clips. But I had this Milwaukee Brewers baseball hat that I've been wearing probably for the last 10 years. and this thing looks like it's been through a war zone. And it used to be like a really deep blue, and it all got bleached out from going to Florida and all these things. And my wife came home with a new Cubbies hat for me, and that they won. And it's not the fact that I got the hat, it's the fact that she went out and saw that I need a new hat and went out and got it. And that's the neatest feeling there is. And to me, that's what Thanksgiving is all about, is appreciating all the little things that you have and not worrying about all the stuff that you don't have. And I'm telling you, and once you let go of trying to obtain all these other physical goods, your life is going to transform. I can't tell you enough. But the road that I've been down, it's not easy, because we're all trained, we're all marketed that the more money and the more things that you possess, the happier you're going to be. And I found that so not to be true. And you, like I said, you got to have a statement. You got to, like on Maslow's chart, you got to be able to have a home. You got to, and we're all social creatures, if not most of us are. And you want to have some friends and stuff like that. But once you have a safe place to go, and once you got some food, once you got some good relationships, it's all about building better relationships and actually not worrying about yourself too much and all the things that you can acquire, but it is all the stuff that you can do for other people. I can't tell you. And here's another example. We were walking in Deer Park yesterday just to get a little exercise, and this guy was trying to lift this, like, it must have been a 50-inch TV, and he was in his, I would say, mid-60s, and he had a belt around this TV trying to lift it. And I'm looking at him, and I stopped, and I go, here, let me help you. What are you trying to do? Get this in your trunk, or are you trying to get this in the store? Oh, I'm trying to get it in the store. I'm trying to return it, but I'm having a hard time. I go, let me help you. And so I helped him lift it inside the store. And then the guy told me that he threw his back out and had back surgery about 2 or 3 weeks before. And, you know, my first question is, what are you doing trying to lift this 50-inch TV by yourself? Number two, what are you doing, worrying about these physical goods? But I didn't question him. And another thing I learned is through my journey over the last 7-8 years, you can't judge people from the journey that they're on. And so many of us do. And the journey that in my life was, about 7-8 years ago, I was pretty judgmental that if you didn't have money, I didn't waste my time with you. And all that is transformed. And here I took a couple minutes to slow down and help this gentleman. And then and he was on his way. But think about this. This guy just did back surgery 2 weeks ago. And his need and his wants overtook taking care of his back. And he wanted to go to return this good. It was kind of unbelievable. But anyway, I wished him a happy holiday. And so that to me is how things can transform in your life. And I'm telling you, when you start letting go a lot of these physical goods and chasing after all this stuff, stuff manifests itself in so many ways that you can't believe it. Let me play my first audio clip here. And again today, my theme today is being grateful and being thankful for all the things that you have in your life and ignoring all the things that you don't have. The first audio clip is from the Dalai Lama and the Million Miles movie. Let me play a segment here.
We all have the potential. But what does happiness? Dear, brothers and sisters. Indeed, I'm very happy.
But what does happiness mean to a Buddhist such as the Dalai Lama?
I usually describe happiness in the sense more satisfaction. Happiness not necessarily some pleasure sort of experience, but neutral sort of experience can bring deep satisfaction.
In your experience, what makes you truly happy?
I believe, the peace of mind. That peace of mind also is to come firstly from heartedness. That I think reduce ill feeling towards other, and also reduce this sort of distrust. I always hope. I never consider myself as something special. If I consider myself something different from you, like I'm Buddhist, even more I'm His Holiness Dalai Lama, or even if you consider I'm Nobel laureate, then actually you create yourself as a prisoner. I forget these things. I simply consider I'm one of the 7 billion human beings. We are mentally, emotionally, intellectually, we are same.
A point he rather inadvertently proved through an unexpected story about gas.
When in aeroplane, sometimes this gas problem comes, then you see, difficult to let out. So occasionally, you see, look around, then you realize that. It's the ultimate source of satisfaction within ourselves. If you do wrong things, mainly harming others, you get negative consequences. If you do helping others, bring more happiness to others, you get benefit. More inner strength there, and more sort of confidence of purpose of life and fulfillment about that purpose, then you always feel happy. When we are young, very much sort of alive, these inner value. And we grown up, particularly the society where not much talking about these values. Only talks when we read newspaper or television, sports or money, number of dollar, like that. And all the advertising, some because of the material values. No one telling, no one sort of explaining the importance of warm-heartedness.
Despite this, he says there is a lot to be happy about if we only look in the right places.
Early part of 20th century, later part of 20th century, much positive change took place. I think world, yes, there is a lot of crisis, a lot of bad things, but also is a lot of good things.
And yet, we have been taught to fear anyone and everyone, a reality, he says, that is impacting one of the fundamentals of human happiness.
So, we are social animals. Therefore, friendship is very essential. Friendship comes trust. Fear and trust go contradiction. More fear there cannot develop trust. With fear, how can develop friendship?
It's little wonder then that loneliness has become the #1 cause of depression in the West.
And a big city, a lot of people, but just think oneself, self-centered attitude, and no idea or sense of love. Then, too much competitive sense. Then jealousy. Jealousy brings distrust. Distrust brings frustration. So therefore, and fear. Then the lonely feeling automatically come. So lonely feeling is not creation of environment, but creation of your own mental attitude.
But the thought leader says there is hope if only we could seek a slightly different goal.
I think eventually we can develop more deeper curiosity because of the experience about our life. Make some kind of pledge. Now on, I must make a new person. Same body, but new person.
Your Holiness, I have to thank you so much. I have learned much from meeting you today. I have learned, for instance, that we're all on the same road.
Yes.
With the ultimate goal.
That's right.
But we're all different travelers.
And also same experience of gas.
I don't think I'll ever forget this day.
Hi, I'm Mike Warsman, founder of A Million Smiles. To join our journey, please subscribe to our YouTube channel below.
Okay, so that was the Dalai Lama. I love the part about gas on a plane. Anyone who's ever traveled anywhere has experienced it. But I've read a lot of books on the Dalai Lama, and I started probably 8 years ago. And I found that a lot of the books that he was talking about were very secular, non-religious. And it was pretty amazing to me that a guy that was so religious and spiritual would write books in a secular fashion. And I was intrigued by the idea that you could have such a religious icon and yet talk in such a secular way, but a spiritual way. And that started explaining the difference between being religious and spiritual. And today's show, again, is talking about being grateful and thankful for all the things that you have in your life and not concentrating all the things that you don't have. And the Dalai Lama went on to give some really good examples that we're all on the journey on the road of life. And there is no right or wrong path, just that people feel different things, people make different choices. And he even mentioned that one of the biggest problems in the West here, the United States and Europe, and is that people are so lonely. We have so much technology around us, and yet they're so lonely, which leads to a lot of problem in people's lives. And I found again that 7, 8 years ago, I was concentrating on building a huge financial empire that I forgot about the most important things in our lives. Our family, our friends, our life, the animals around before us, everything around for us, all the way from the simple things all the way to the complicated relationships that we have. And the books that I read on Dalai Lama really caught my spiritual growth in that you don't have to be part of one religion to seek happiness. And it's okay to be happy. And part of that journey of being happy is being thankful and being grateful for all the things that you are and who you are and all the things that you have in your life. And that mostly does not include all the physical goods. So I got to cut the break. I hope you've been enjoying the show so far. I know I have. When I cut loose from all the politics and all of the world of law and all the world of being in court and out of court, these are my most enjoyable moments when I'm on the radio, when I'm able to share stories with you and a lot of other people's journeys as well. So I got to cut the break here for a couple of minutes. I'm going to be back. And I have my next audio clip you're going to be finding to be amazing. Okay, so I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Hang in there, folks. Been listening to the Dave Mierswa Show.
WRLR 98.3 FM.
Welcome to the Dave Mierswa Show, the cutting-edge talk show about legal, political, and current issues. Practicing in both Wisconsin and Illinois, David Mierswa is a leading trial attorney bringing nearly 2 decades of business law, family law, personal injury, and estate planning experience to you. The Dave Mierswa Show, about the people, for the people, and bringing justice to the people. The Dave Mierswa Show, its guests, agents, and WRLR are not rendering any legal advice. All listeners are encouraged to seek legal advice from properly licensed and qualified professionals.
Welcome back to the Dave Mierswa Show. I'm your host, Attorney Dave Mierswa. I hope everyone is enjoying their weekend and what is left of the holiday. And don't fret, we have more coming up of holiday coming up at the end of the year here. So, you just tuned into my show. Peggy Buccini, co-host. Peggy Buccini is on vacation this weekend. We finally gave her a break. I think she got a little overwhelmed by all of the cutting edge topics that we talk about. So big shout out to her, and she's in Florida, so I hope she's enjoying her time off out in the sun, and that is pretty cool. My topic today that I've been talking about is being thankful and being grateful for all the things that you have in your life and not concentrating on the things that you don't have. And I think that on the journey of life, on the road of life, that so many of us take a left turn or a right turn, and then they think that they're stuck in the moment, and they're stuck for a particular part of time. And I'm telling you that on today's show, that I've revealed some of the journey I've been through as a lawyer, as a real estate investor, as a business person, that we all come full circle. And at the beginning of my show, I was talking about 7-8 years ago when I had all of my financial fortune invested in real estate and everything went south. And out of that rose what I call the new Phoenix, the new Dave. And I tell you, I'm a lot happier I am today than I was 7-8 years ago. I look back at that moment and I think that I was rather miserable. I didn't know it at the time, but I was so busy chasing after the almighty buck, I forgot all the important things in life. And thank God that, and I always believe that the universe always gives you lessons, and all you have to do is listen. And every day that you get up, you are always able to change the course and direction in your life. And I see so many people that do the same thing over and over and over, and they're afraid to let go of all this stuff that they're carrying. And another thing I learned on the journey from 7 or 8 years ago, I used to carry all of this burden on my back. And I used to carry this knapsack of all of this negative things, that people would be negative to me and all that. And I carried that around for years. And again, I started reading a lot of stuff on the Dalai Lama. I just played an audio clip on the Dalai Lama and how he talked about happiness, and happiness, part of that journey for you to discover what it takes to be happy again is being thankful and grateful for all the things that you have in your life and not that you don't have. And it's a daily exercise. You just don't do it once a year. You work on this every day. And all the things that define you are what you do in the here and moment now. So let me play the next audio clip here from this gentleman named Nick Vajusik, something like that. And I was searching the YouTube channels out there, and I was looking for someone that would be inspirational. And man, did I find it. This guy has no arms and no legs. So you could search him on YouTube. Again, Nick Vajusik. Let me spell his last name. Vujicic. Vujicic. You can go to YouTube. This guy's got no arms and no legs. And yet he talks about being thankful and grateful for all the opportunity in his life. Let me play the next audio clip.
I wasn't ready. I have no arms and no legs, but I'm very thankful that I have my little chicken drumstick here. People freak out when they see me for the first time. It's so cool. I was at a water slide all by myself. Everyone obviously at the bottom of the slide is looking up and waiting for other people to come down, and here I come and they're freaking out. They're like, you know, like this. And I was so tempted to look at myself and go, what happened? You know? There were times where I sort of looked at my life and thinking, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. And you keep on concentrating on the things that you wish you had or the things that you wish you didn't have. And you sort of forget what you do have. And there's no point, I believe, in my life where I wish I had arms, legs, I wish I had arms, legs, I wish I had arms, legs, because wishing won't help. But what I've seen in life are just a couple key principles, and the first thing that I've seen is to be thankful. It's hard to be thankful, man. I tell you, when I was 8 years old, I sort of summed up my life and thought, I'm never going to get married, I'm not going to have a job, I'm not going to have a life of purpose. What kind of a husband am I going to be if I can't even hold my wife's hand? It's a lie to think that you're not good enough. It's a lie to think that you're not worth anything. One more. It's freezing, I can't feel my hands. I love life. You know, so many people come and say, how come you smile so much? And I'm like, well, it's a long story. But it's very simple at the same time. You see, it's very hard to smile sometimes in life. There are things that happen that you don't know and you don't understand, and you don't know if you're going to get through it. You know, you go through your storms in life and you don't know how long this storm's going to be. And today I want to share with you some principles that I've learned in my life that you can use in yours. Being patient is beautiful. I tell you, it's the hardest thing. But I realize I may not have hands to hold my wife's hand, but when the time comes, I'll be able to hold her heart. I don't need hands to hold her heart. You know, it is scary to know how many girls have eating disorders. It is scary to know how many people are just angry at life because of their situation at home and angry at others. It's scary to know how many people actually feel like they're worth nothing. Every single girl right here, right now, I want you to know that you are beautiful. You are gorgeous just the way you are. And you boys, you're the man.
On this DVD, I share my experiences in life of how I've overcome challenges and seen a new, fresh perspective in life. To be thankful, to dream big, and to never give up. I speak to children, youth, and adults about key issues and principles that I've applied in my life that has given me the strength to conquer all that comes before me.
So that was pretty awesome. That was a audio clip from Nick, last name Vujicic. So you may wanna Google that and really see this. This guy's got no arms and no legs, and you think that you're having a rough day, and you're really not. So you get up every day, and so many times we forget about everything, and especially with the holidays, everyone gets into a buying frenzy and all that, and they really forget what it's all about. So I think that's pretty cool. That was a awesome video. I love what the Dalai Lama had to say. I have another audio clip here, and I found this. I found it a really good audio, and I thought it was kind of motivating with the financial side of it, which I kind of discussed on it. But my next audio clip is from Oprah Winfrey and what she has to say about being grateful. And this is an audio clip from the OWN network.
When you think you don't have anything, I always say go back to your breath. And what I know is that if you just start with your breath and start being grateful for that, it's thinking about what you have versus what you don't have, and focusing on the one thing that you are grateful for increases the energy of gratitude and rises just a little bit the joy inside yourself, just a little bit. If you can just get to one good feeling helps build on another good feeling and another good feeling. Just the idea of saying, I'm grateful for my breath. I am grateful that I was able to get up and walk on both legs this morning. And really feel that. I am grateful that I'm able to use my hands. I think about Monica George every time I go to reach for something. Monica George was the mother who was on our show, who gone into the hospital to have her second child and contracted a disease and had to have both her arms and both her legs cut off. She said, get me out of here so I can get home and take care of my babies.
Salute you for the light that you bring.
Starting with what you have and what you can do versus what you can't, focusing on the $3 in your wallet will bring you $5 sooner than focusing on the $50 you don't have. So if you allow yourself to get to the space of a good feeling, I don't care what that good feeling is, a good feeling increases more good feeling. In the same way that being in a bad situation and focusing on the bad situation continues to make you feel worse. First thing I do when I get up in the morning is read some kind of spiritual material. I read some kind of spiritual enlightenment. So I start my day with something that is going to put me in a positive frame of mind so that I begin attracting to me positive energy. So what this means that you've watched this right now, it means you've opened up just a little channel of energy to allow some joy to rise in yourself.
So that was Oprah on being grateful, and there seems to be a really huge theme that a lot of these people that she had on her show and a lot of the audio clips that I play is really, you need to focus on all the things that you have and don't worry about all the things that you don't have. And once you do that, I'm telling you, your mindset will change forever. And you will no longer have to worry about this big burden of all the stuff that you don't have. And I kind of used an analogy this morning that, okay, so you live in a 1 or 2-bedroom apartment or you live in a house, let's say it's like 2,000 square feet, and you got your dining room table, you got your bedroom sets and all that, and you want more and more and more stuff. And as you go into a super Walmart, how do you think you can manage all of that stuff being in your house? You couldn't. You couldn't even walk into any room. So the same analogy, when you're so worried about focusing on all of the stuff that you don't have, and your journey becomes more complicated, and that's endless. Your mind creates this stream of wants and desires, and it's endless, and whatever your mind can make up, it never ends. And I meet so many people too that have spent a lifetime focusing on building all of these physical goods around them when they were so rich in the first place that you didn't need all this stuff. So part of my journey, as I talked about at the beginning, where I was so headstrong and focused in on making money, I forgot about the most important things that were surrounding me. And thank God, all of these people that I surround myself with saw the good in me to hang around long enough for me to kind of change. And as soon as they saw some of the small changes, they knew I was once again on a path and journey back to being grateful and thankful, which leads to being happy. And I see so many people that around the courthouses, and this is real particular around the courthouses. I can't tell you that they focus on all of the negative things that they've been through. And I do a lot of family law and divorce, and all they do is they focus in on the negative emotions and actions and inactions that their former spouse did or civil partner to them. And they don't realize that sometimes you got to get rid of negative people in your life, get rid of them, and then focus on a new future and focus on the things that you have. And, so as part of my advice to my clients is I always try to reinforce all of the good things that they have in their life. And I've seen them transform. And it's really an amazing process as I help someone through a divorce and when they got children too. And I can't think of a bigger time for me to help someone is for them that they're starting out a new journey in life. And it is probably one of the most stressful things that a person can ever go through is a divorce. And in particular, if you got kids. And then it is a journey. And I recently had a client that went through a lot of strife and recently started realizing that he was focusing on all the wrong stuff, started focusing on his kids, and that burden that he's been, he or she, that was carrying for all these years, let go. And they're starting to find happiness again. And to me, that was one of the most transformational things in my life, is that I can help people on the journey and they get stuck a little bit. And sometimes we shelter in where we're at. And I said, it's okay. It's okay to come out into a storm, because when you start walking through a storm, sooner or later, that storm is going to subside and you're going to start to have clarity again in your life. And that is some of the most amazing and powerful things that I can do as an attorney. And it really has nothing to do with the law. And it's helping someone reboot their life. And it all starts out by being thankful and grateful for the things that they have and pointing that out. And so that's kind of neat that I'm able to help out people in such a unique way. And I'm very grateful and thankful that I get an opportunity to do that. And you don't need to be a lawyer to do that. And I'm kind of challenging all of my listeners that over the next 30 days throughout the holiday, for you every day to get up and start to do things for some other people, and take a look at all the stuff that you have and don't focus on all the stuff that you don't have, and maybe start to realize some points in your life. I'm telling you, that will change how you think about things, and all the stress that is created in your life, it's let go. And I'm telling you, I will be leaving the studio here today, and I'm not stressed out. And I haven't been stressed. I have occasions in my life where there's stressful events, but I know I'm going to get through all of them because of all my good family and friends. So I hope you liked today's show. I thought it was just so important after watching these YouTube videos and all these people literally climbing over each other to go get a $10 good. It just really opened my eyes. And I hope that you take the time today, that you slow down, enjoy your family and your friends, and you don't need all that stuff through the holidays. In fact, if you want to help someone, donate money, donate time, donate some goods for other people that are in need of all the basics. And sometimes the basics is just talking to someone and wishing someone a happy holiday. So I hope you enjoyed the show. I know when I do these kinds of shows that I stop and I reflect over the last year. These are the best kind of shows I love doing. And so I hope that you enjoyed the show. I hope that you really got something from it today. And if your kids are listening, I hope that you realize the words, not just the words that I talked about, but the words from Oprah and the Dalai Lama and this other guy named Nick. Think about this guy, no arms and no legs. And how am I going to hold my wife's hand? And he realized he didn't have to. He had to hold her heart. So I'm going to leave you with that thought. I'm going to be back 2 weeks from now. And Peggy Busini will be on hopefully next Sunday. I hope everyone has a very thankful and grateful Sunday. I know I appreciate every day that I have and being on air and being able to broadcast these messages to you. So take care of yourself and your family and your friends now. And we'll be back next Sunday after that. Take care of yourself now.